so many schools across the country that are looking at this case and also looking for new ways to stop attacks before they ever happen, before a shot is ever fired. Technology comes into play here, right? We think about technology powered by artificial intelligence being used to detect guns before they're brought inside of a school. This particular software that we're talking about is called ZeroEyes. It's already being used in some schools in Illinois and in Arkansas, as well as a Jewish community center in Southern California, right? We've got to stay ahead of this. And joining us now is Scott Braswell. He's the CEO of the Merage Jewish Community Center in California that is using this technology, and also Rob Hertley, the ZeroEyes CEO. To both of you, thank you for being here. It continues to happen. It has all of us looking over our shoulders. So we want technology to be used for good here. Scott, tell me, or first of all, Rob, tell me about ZeroEyes. How exactly does this work?
So we process all of your existing camera feeds, frame by frame, and we ask one question: is there a gun in this image? And then once our AI thinks that there is actually a gun, it sends an alert to our operations center where it's verified by a human. We employ veterans. We're 80% veteran company, and they actually have to verify the alert. So if an object with a box drawn around it looks like a gun, they dispatch it. They never see your actual live video feeds. They only see the alerts that pop in front of them, and they can monitor many, many cameras at one time. So we can have one person monitor thousands of cameras at a time.
What if a gun is in a bag?
So it has to be out for us to actually detect it. So it's passive. We view ourselves as that last net, but it turns out, and then a lot of these cases, they pull their gun out very early. They walk in front of cameras. They walk around like the Grim Reaper, particularly in the mass shooting kind of environments. And we've seen this happen again and again. It happened in Oxford. It happened in Uvalde. It's happened in Columbine. It's happened in pretty much anyone that you can name. It happened in Parkland. That was where we started the impetus. And we realized the behavior, like you just showed, that there's, they were drawing on their homework that, it's going to, there's blood everywhere, or whatever it said, and pictures of guns and stuff like that. They're not looking to get away with this. They're looking to terrify people. So they walk around with their guns exposed. And we want to be that last net that catches you right before you go in, so that we can provide the first responders an image and a location, so they could be at the right place at the right time with the right equipment.
Yeah, when time is important. Scott, you are CEO of the Merage Jewish Community Center. As I mentioned, you're in Orange County, California. Why did you decide to put this technology to use?
Yeah, anytime you can gain a few extra seconds or a few extra minutes to put your security protocols into place to lock down your facility, those are critical in an emergency setting. We looked at a number of different products, and we ultimately chose ZeroEyes because the ease of that it uses our existing cameras, and was able to quickly and efficiently get that information to the various law enforcement partners that we have.
How costly is this, Rob, this technology?
We try to, it depends on how many cameras that you have. We try to make it as cost effective as it is, but it scales. So the answer is it depends on how many cameras you have and the scope of it.
Well, for a school, for example, how many cameras would you put in a school?
So it also depends on the side of the school. So we want to get the main entrance points, where people go in and out with the main gathering areas. And, a very large high school could have hundreds of cameras, and then, schools that have, 10 or 15 cameras, it's something different. So it wildly depends on how many cameras that you have, because we have to process each individual camera separately.
I mean, give me a ballpark. Are we talking tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars?
No, for an individual school, let's say tens of thousands.
Okay.
And higher or lower depending on that.
Got it. And timing wise, so once you get the alert, gun pulled, your technology and the AI detects it, how quickly does that get the ball rolling to get police on the scene?
So the way that it works is that the initial alert is, relatively instantaneous. So the AI decides something and it sends it to our operations center. The time for information to travel, because it's just one single image, is also fairly instantaneous. And then we have to have a human be able to respond to that. And, we say as fast as 3 to 5 seconds. It obviously depends, because we have to understand that it is definitely a gun, and then that gets dispatched to you. So a handful of seconds.
Okay. Scott, what was the cost to you, and how much peace of mind has that provided for you and those who you work alongside?
It was significantly cheaper, Marnie, than a number of products that we looked at. And one thing I want to point out, that as the security costs continue to rise, we can't just keep investing in more and more personnel and more people. That's not sustainable, especially for us as a nonprofit. So we looked at, again, trying to find technology, but the advantage that we found with ZeroEyes is what Rob said about the human person that is in the command center that's actually verifying what the AI is seeing. So once you add AI and you partner that with a person actually looking at that, that helps us tremendously for our peace of mind and letting our families know that this technology exists to continue to help keep their children safe, to help keep themselves safe, and allow us to confidently say that safety and security remains our top priority.
Yeah, tough to put a price on safety and keeping our kids safe when they go off to school. Rob, I mentioned Illinois, Arkansas. You have schools in those two states that are using this technology. What's been the feedback so far?
So we're in 40 total states at this point. I think the feedback's been very positive. You know, we don't say that we're the only solution. We don't say that, you know, we're perfect. We're working as hard as we can to improve every single day. I think the feedback that when we show it to first responders is it makes sense, that this should already exist. And when we saw the footage from Parkland, which was really our impetus, where there was a gun out early, one student confronted another, and he said, "You better get out of here. It's going to get bad." And that's kind of playing out in court right now. We said, who's watching this? And so the answer was no one. So we said, well, let's start watching this. And I think that when people see that we're watching for this Black Swan event, that's the only thing we do. We only look for guns, that it makes sense, and it can help people feel a little bit safer.
Yeah. How big's your staff? I mean, I'm assuming, so 24-hour surveillance required?
So it's not surveillance. So we don't actually see your live image. We just see we don't see your
Only
live
if the
feed. We
gun
just see
comes up.
the individual image, right? And so, you know, our total team that we have is a little over 160 people. And, you know, we staff both in basically Philadelphia and Hawaii. We have operation centers in both places.
Okay. Well, you know what? I think that anything we can do that gets us on the scene of these situations quicker is good. Technology and AI can be scary, but in this instance, working for us. Rob Huberty and Scott Braswell, thank you both for being here and sharing it with us.
Thank you very much.
Again, that technology,
Thank you.
ZeroEyes. All right.